Ever find yourself staring into the fridge at midnight, not really hungry, but reaching for that tub of ice cream anyway? We've all been there, using food to cope with emotions, stress, or even boredom. But what if there was a way to break free from those patterns and develop a healthier relationship with food? Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating approach: journal prompts.
What's intriguing about journal prompts is their focus on self-reflection. They act like a mirror, helping you understand the why behind your actions, particularly concerning something as complex as binge eating.
We found this set of prompts on Stallion's blog. They're all about using journaling for binge eating recovery. And full disclosure, they do sell journals, but these prompts genuinely captivated us. They're not about restriction or quick fixes, they're about understanding the root causes of emotional eating.
It's about peeling back the layers, right? Instead of just addressing the symptom, the binge eating, we're going deeper, exploring the emotions, thoughts, and even external pressures that might be fueling those unhealthy behaviors.
Like, one prompt asks, how does binge eating make you feel right after? How about an hour later? It seems so simple, but wow, does it pack a punch. It's like, in that moment of reaching for another cookie, we forget about the guilt and discomfort that often follow. This prompt forces you to confront that cycle head on.
Precisely. By documenting both the immediate pleasure and the delayed consequences, you start to break down that cycle of instant gratification versus long-term regret. You begin to see the bigger picture.
And there's this other prompt that really struck me. What do you wish people knew about your binge eating? It made me think about the silence and shame that often surround this issue. It's like this secret we carry, afraid of judgment or misunderstanding.
It's about giving a voice to that internal struggle. Writing down those unspoken feelings can be incredibly powerful, potentially paving the way for honest conversations with loved ones or even therapists.
It's like, finally, I can express what's been bottled up inside. And maybe, just maybe, by sharing those feelings, I can start to release their hold on me.
Absolutely. And speaking of things we internalize, the blog doesn't shy away from the role of body image in binge eating. It's a huge piece of the puzzle, isn't it?
Huge. I mean, let's face it, we're bombarded with images of perfect bodies constantly. It's no wonder so many of us struggle with negative self-image, and that can be a slippery slope to disordered eating.
It's crucial to acknowledge the external pressures that shape those negative perceptions. The media, societal standards, even casual comments from others. These external influences can seep into our internal dialogue without us even realizing it.
And then we start judging ourselves against these impossible standards. It's like, wait a minute, where did this inner critic even come from? One prompt that really hit me like a ton of bricks was, compare the way you talk to yourself about your body with how you'd speak to someone you love. Ouch.
Right. Imagine having to speak those harsh words about your body to a loved one. This prompt forces you to confront the discrepancy in how we treat ourselves versus others, revealing the absurdity of our self-criticism. It's a powerful exercise in self-compassion.
It's so true. I'd never dream of telling my best friend she needs to lose weight or that her thighs are too big, but I say those things to myself all the time. This prompt is like a wake-up call to start treating myself with the same kindness I show others.
And that shift in perspective, that cultivation of self-compassion, is essential for healing our relationship with food and our bodies. It's about recognizing that we are worthy of love and acceptance, regardless of our size or shape.
Okay, so we've talked about understanding the why behind binge eating, but the blog doesn't leave you hanging there, does it? It also offers a ton of prompts geared toward building healthier habits. But what I found refreshing is that it emphasizes this isn't about some quick fix or crash diet.
It's about sustainable change, building a lifestyle that supports your well-being without sacrificing enjoyment or resorting to restrictive measures that often backfire.
Exactly. And they have some really practical prompts in this section, like how can you make your favorite meal a little healthier? I love this because it's not about deprivation. It's about finding ways to enjoy the foods you love in a more mindful and nourishing way.
It's about making conscious choices that align with your health goals without feeling like you're giving up everything you enjoy. It's a much more sustainable approach than restrictive dieting.
Absolutely. Another prompt that caught my eye was, how does getting enough sleep help you with your eating habits? At first glance, it might seem a bit out of left field. But then I remembered all those times I've been sleep deprived and ended up raiding the pantry for sugary snacks. It's like my brain just can't function without a sugar rush when I'm exhausted. This prompt really highlights that our sleep habits directly impact our food choices.
Absolutely. Sleep deprivation can wreak havoc on our hunger hormones, leading to increased cravings for sugary, fatty foods. It's like our bodies are searching for a quick energy fix when they're running on empty. This prompt encourages you to consider the bigger picture of your health, recognizing that well-being extends beyond just the food we eat.
It's about understanding those interconnected pieces, right? Like maybe if I prioritize getting a good night's sleep, I'll be less likely to reach for that bag of chips when I'm stressed.
Precisely. It's about making those connections and developing healthier habits that support your overall well-being. And that's where the power of journaling comes in. It allows you to track those patterns, experiment with new habits, and celebrate your victories along the way.
It's like having this personalized roadmap guiding you toward a healthier relationship with food. Instead of just feeling stuck in those same old patterns, you're actively working towards change.
Exactly. And you're not just relying on willpower or fleeting motivation. You're building a framework for self-awareness and accountability, which are crucial for lasting change.
Because let's be real, change is hard, especially when it comes to something as emotionally charged as food. There are going to be setbacks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where these prompts also emphasize self-compassion. It's not about beating yourself up over those inevitable slip-ups. It's about recognizing that change is a journey, not a destination.
It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a friend who's struggling. We've all been there, right?
Absolutely. We're all human. We all have our moments. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply acknowledge those struggles without judgment.
And that's where journaling can be incredibly powerful, right? It provides that safe and non-judgmental space to process emotions, celebrate victories, and learn from setbacks. It's like you can be completely honest with yourself in those pages without fear of judgment.
Precisely. It becomes this private sanctuary for self-discovery and growth. You can explore those deeper emotions, identify triggers, and track your progress over time. It's like shining a light on those hidden patterns that might be driving your behaviors.
And speaking of uncovering hidden patterns, one prompt that really got me thinking was about tracing back the origins of those negative body image thoughts. Is it from media, friends, family? That's such a powerful exercise because we often internalize those messages without even realizing it.
It's like those messages become part of the background noise of our lives, subtly shaping our perceptions of ourselves and our bodies. By taking the time to really examine where those thoughts come from, we can start to challenge their validity.
It's like, wait a minute, is this actually how I feel? Or is this just society's unrealistic beauty standards seeping into my brain?
Yeah.
It's so empowering to recognize that distinction.
Absolutely. And once you start to recognize those external influences, you can start to dismantle their power over your self-perception. You reclaim your own narrative.
It's like taking back control. And speaking of empowerment, the blog post doesn't just dwell on the negative. It also has a whole section on looking forward, with prompts that encourage you to envision a brighter future.
That's the beauty of journaling. It's not just about dissecting the past or present. It's a tool for creating the future you desire.
Exactly. Like one prompt asks, imagine a future where binge eating doesn't control your life. What does it look like? That's powerful stuff. It's like you're giving yourself permission to believe that a healthier, happier relationship with food is possible.
And not just possible, but achievable. By documenting your goals and aspirations, you're making them more concrete, more real. It's a way of bringing those desires into sharper focus.
It's like creating a vision board, but with words. And those words can be incredibly powerful in motivating you toward lasting change.
And let's not forget the practical aspect of journaling. It can be an incredibly valuable tool for communication with therapists, dietitians, or support groups.
It's like you're creating this detailed log of your journey that they can then use to provide more personalized and effective support.
Precisely. It becomes a collaborative tool, strengthening that therapeutic relationship and empowering you to take ownership of your recovery.
And speaking of recovery, I think it's important to reiterate that these journal prompts, while incredibly insightful, aren't meant to replace professional help. If you're struggling with binge eating or any other disordered eating pattern, it's essential to reach out to a qualified healthcare professional.
Absolutely. These prompts are a fantastic starting point for self-reflection and exploration, but they're most effective when used in conjunction with professional guidance and support.
Think of it like this. These prompts are like the trail map for your journey, but a therapist or dietitian is like your experienced hiking guide.
A great analogy. They can provide the expert navigation support and encouragement you need to navigate those challenging terrains and reach your destination safely.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into these journal prompts, the biggest takeaway for me is the power of self-awareness. It's about taking the time to understand those deeper emotional needs and triggers that might be driving those unhealthy behaviors.
And to approach that journey with compassion, recognizing that change takes time and effort.
It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One journal entry, one healthy choice, one act of self-care at a time.
And remember, you don't have to embark on this journey alone. There's a whole community of support out there ready to cheer you on every step of the way.
So, to leave you with a final thought from the blog post, a prompt to ponder as you continue your own journey of self-discovery. Imagine a future where binge eating doesn't control your life. What does it look like?
Let that image guide you. Hold on to that vision of a healthier, happier you. It's closer than you think.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, take care.